In school, we learn to write, to read, to solve equations, and so on. But nobody teaches us how to manage our money and how to be financially literate before it's too late. Don't get me wrong, you don't have to be an expert. However, you should at the very least know the basics. So here are 5 things you should definitely fix before you turn 30. First thing, invest in yourself. The old invest in yourself. How many times have you heard these words? Although many people skip this step, this one is fundamental. You can invest in yourself in many different ways. Go to seminars, read books, learn a new language, and so on. Here are some examples. Read the right books. Your time is valuable, and there's nothing worse than reading a horrible book. Those are books that teach you nothing, like books on romance, novels, and so on, or books on business that teach you everything but business. So, first of all, you should pick a subject you are interested in. We actually made a video on the books that you should read to improve your business mindset. You can find the link in the description down below. Find a mentor. Asking a successful person to be your mentor is the wrong way. One thing you need to know is that the mentor finds you. First off, you need to start on your own path. Your journey needs to be already in the process. You cannot wait around for a mentor to come and pick you up, then bring you to success. You should always give first and then ask for something in return. Someone who is going to teach you something wants to know that you're 100% committed. They want to know that you're really dedicated, that you're enthusiastic, that you're passionate, and that you will bring something to the table. Not just trying to take something, you always had to offer something in return, and sometimes in advance. Second thing, learn a high-income skill. A high-income skill is any skill that can generate a 6-figure income. This includes skills like copywriting, web development, consulting, digital marketing, and so on. High-income skills allow you to gain financial confidence and live the lifestyle you've dreamed of. Not everyone has a high-income skill, but anyone can learn it. Let's take, for example, copywriting. Why is copywriting considered a high-income skill? Copywriting is a skill that is in high demand. As more modern companies survive thanks to their online sales, more and more companies are realizing the value of a skilled copywriter. Why? Because a good copywriter can connect leads with the written word, which will lead to more online sales and a significant increase in revenue for the business. You will have your ups and downs. Sometimes you make a bad investment or make a mistake that costs you a lot of money. But if you have a high-income skill to fall back on, you'll be fine. You can always rely on your high income to make money fast. It will help you bounce back if you burn yourself, make a bad investment, or make a business mistake. Before we continue, I'd like to know, are you getting any value so far? If you are, kindly like this video, and if you are new, welcome and go ahead and click subscribe. Done? Thanks. Now let's move on. The third thing, be financially literate. Recently, people have increasingly faced the problem of lack of money, as they do not know how to properly manage their funds. Unfortunately, not everyone has financial literacy. So what do? The main thing is not to panic. There are general rules on how to create effective money management, and 3 of them are. 1. You need a plan. Determine your net income. You need to sit down and calculate the exact amount of your monthly income. This is not just about your salary, but about the money you have after paying all taxes. Make a detailed list of your monthly expenses. Where are the funds spent each month? What do you buy? Take the time and make a detailed list of your expenses. To do this, I will show you one interesting rule, the 50-30-20 rule. It simply states that 1. Spend 50% of your income on taxes and basic needs. This 50% includes all fixed and variable costs. Keep only the most necessary expenses. In other words, only what is vital for you. For example, food, housing, medicine, and so on. 2. Spend 30% of your incomes on your desires. No, I am not talking about high-end restaurants and entertainment establishments. Remember to start living within your means. I'm talking about spending 30% on little things to make you happy. Be sure to please yourself. This is very important for maintaining your mental health. 3. Spend 20% on paying your debts. Remember that it is best to deal with debt as soon as possible. Try to pay off loans and borrowings as soon as possible. Better not to go into debt at all, except for responsible credit card debt that you will absolutely pay back in time. But if you do not have any debts, do not rush to spend the rest of your money on entertainment. Start investing. This way, you can acquire additional passive income. Having made a list of necessary purchases, you can assess their value and importance. Some of them may be a waste of money. Take a close look at all your bank statements and utility bills and review your credit histories. It's better to manage finances not in your head, but on paper or in an electronic document. Now, there are many convenient mobile applications, including some banks within their application, that help you figure out how much money comes to you per month and how much it leaves. If you ask yourself frankly how much money was spent in the last month, very few will know the exact figure, and you need to know it. The distribution of money across several types of spending will allow you to control the expenditure of finances and give you an understanding of which area of life you need to save money, and in which area you need to buy something more expensive. 2. Search for new sources of income. An additional source of income will give you confidence in the future. You will be less dependent on the basic salary. It is worth selling all unnecessary things. There is no need to stand in the market and waste time on this, when you can use the internet instead. After studying financial literature, you can make investments. If a person has unclaimed property, it must be rented out, so you will not accumulate debts, but passive income will appear. This is what brings us income: renting out real estate, dividends from purchased shares, interest on bank deposits, additional work, and so on. 3. Self-development. It is worth remembering about self-education. A person should not stop studying after receiving a diploma. The world is developing all the time. New opportunities appear. Do not neglect training courses. They will allow you to understand new areas of business. 4. Learn to save. It's good to have some contingency reserve. To do this, it is enough to set aside a certain percentage of income every month. If possible, you can accumulate savings. Strive to ensure that the amount of income exceeds the number of monthly expenses, and then you can start investing 10 to 20% of free money in various assets every month. Money management is divided into 2 areas. Either you want to simply keep the savings you already have or increase them. If your expenses are much higher than your income, then you should adjust your attitude to finance. A lot of people quite often spend money on things that they do not need at all, such as lunch or dinners in restaurants, buying expensive clothes or equipment. All of these are extra expenses. To build your seed capital, you need to learn to live within your means. Think about what is more important to you: buying another branded jacket or investing in your own future? In any case, you should always strive to ensure that you have the opportunity to save 30% monthly, and ideally 50% to a bank account with a minimum of 7% interest, which will at least cover inflation. The remaining 70% or 50% should also be allocated to basic needs such as food, clothing, everyday expenses, as well as allocate an emergency reserve from this amount, which you can deposit in the future. 4th thing, learn to invest your time. If you're in your 20s or so and you're in college, investing your time is the most important investment you can make in life, even if time is the only thing you can currently invest in. Read as much as you can. How to use your time efficiently. Here's a tip from investment genius Warren Buffett. Read 500 pages a day. According to his partner Charlie Munger, Buffett distributes such advice and spends up to 80% of his time reading. We make the right decisions very quickly because we spent a lot of time preparing, just quietly reading and thinking. Set goals and achieve them. This advice is so often repeated that we should be ashamed to give it. Let's refrain from lengthy conversations that setting goals is right and cool. In a 1953 study, Yale students were asked 3 questions. Do you set goals for yourself? Are you writing down your goals? And are you making plans to achieve your goals? Researchers interviewed the same people 20 years later. It found that 13% of students who simply wrote down their goals achieved, on average, twice as many of those who did not bother doing this kind of research. But there was another 3% who did not just write down goals, but worked out a plan to achieve them. So, graduates from this same 3% earned on average 10 times more than their other classmates. Travel. In a few years, you will be drawn into work, a series of projects, and family life. But even if all this does not happen, remember that traveling is easier and cheaper while you are young. Make sure you travel a lot, meet new people, and make experiences. Start working as early as possible. If you start looking for something that successful businessmen and women have in common, you will quickly realize that all of them have one main rule: always work extremely hard. While most of your peers are spending time on social media and have no idea what they will do when they graduate, you should use the time to do something that will increase your income. Learn a high-income skill, for example. According to Gladwell's famous formula, it takes 10,000 hours of professional experience to become really good in any field. Enjoy the journey. A lot of people live with dreams that they will be happy when they reach their goal. I will study and work hard, and finally, I will become a consultant for one of the Big Four. And then, Harvard researcher Shawn Achor has studied happiness for many years and came to the conclusion that everything works exactly the opposite. Success does not determine happiness. It is happiness that brings success. In other words, achieve goals and strive for more, be persistent, and do not let yourself get down. But in no case put the item "be happy" at the end of your list of great things. Fifth thing, buy assets. Assets are things that increase your income. Liabilities take away your money. For example, assets are your own business, possessions, and real estate that bring earnings, stocks, etc. The number of liabilities includes various things and objects that simply take money out of pocket. Expensive phones, cars, big houses, credit card debt, and so on. Understanding the difference between the two terms is very important. Do you know why the majority rich people keep getting richer, the poor become poorer? Because the rich invest in assets and poor invest into liabilities. Anything can be both an asset or a liability. For example, if you have a car on which you spend $200 a month, then that car is a liability. But if the car that you rent makes you $200 a month, then in this case, it is an asset. In conclusion, I hope this video was helpful to you. Now you know what to focus on before you turn 30. And I would like to know, which of these 5 things were you already doing? Maybe you are investing in yourself, or you are learning a high-income skill. Let me know down in the comments. With that said, have a great day, you guys, and I'll see you all in the next one.